Hey everyone, I'm Chef Chris Dutka, owner of Christopher's Kitchen here in Marlborough, New Jersey. And today we're going to talk a little bit about filet mignon. And in particular, we're going to be making a sous vide preparation. And sous vide is a technique that's pretty popular these days. It's basically cooking any meat or protein at a precise temperature for a certain amount of time. In doing so, you really hold the integrity of the product, and you can't overcook it. So we're going to start with filet mignon. I have a piece of filet mignon. This is about a 7-ounce piece of filet mignon we just cut. All you're going to do is season it up generously with salt and pepper. Always season your meat generously. Brings out a lot of flavor in the meat. You don't want bland meat. Salt and pepper, fresh ground pepper, of course. And basically what we do is we put it inside a vacuum bag and we seal it up. And that's how you're going to cook it without getting all wet. And what I like to do is put a sprig of thyme on top of the filet and a pat of butter. And that's it. And then we're going to go ahead, put it in our machine, seal it up. You don't want to compress it too much, but just till it all comes together and creates a nice seal. And that will do it. And so the machine that I'm using here is a home-cooked, a home version called the Nova. But I use it for catering events a lot and dinner parties, and it works awesome. The new one they have out now, you can even control it with your Bluetooth. It's pretty crazy. We're going to set it at 130 degrees. That's a perfect medium rare. So all you would do is stick it in here. And filet mignon steaks about 1 inch thick take about an hour. But here's the great part. You can't overcook it. So you can actually leave it in there for several hours and it will never go above 130 degrees. That's the beauty of this whole thing. So once it's done, we take it out, and I happen to have one that is already done. We just open the bag. Take it out. You can save your piece of thyme there. You just want to pat the meat off a little bit to dry it. I have a hot saute pan here. I'm going to add a tiny bit of olive oil. Once the oil just about smokes, we're going to add the steak to that. Now, the reason why we do this is because it never gets any kind of sear or caramelization in the water bath. So we want to add a little crust to it to enhance the flavor of it. And it is completely fully cooked at 130 degrees right now. So, I like to add a little crushed garlic in there as well. And that thyme sprig that was in there. You can see that. Then we're also going to add another pat of butter. Let it sit about 45 seconds on each side, and it's good to go. Now, you can do all cuts of beef this way. You could do chicken. Chicken comes out tremendously moist. You have to play around with the recipes for different cuts. If you Google sous vide, you'll find tons of things, as you probably found this channel here, this station here. And there are lots of recipes for different temperatures and amounts and cooking times. So you can do salmon, you can do short ribs. I've seen people do short ribs, like cooking it for 2 days in a sous vide machine. I don't know if I want to wait that long to eat short ribs, but you know, hey, it's a thing that you can do. So, as this is cooking down, take some of this goodness here and just baste it. That's all flavor. take a look and see how you got that nice caramelization going on there? That's what you want. And the thyme there and the garlic is really going to add some flavor to that as well. Now you can also put a marinade in the bag. But when you do marinades with the sous vide, don't go crazy on the marinades. You don't need a lot in there. Filet mignon won't release a lot of liquid in the bag, but other cuts of like chicken and stuff may release more water in there. You don't need a lot in there. You can just put the marinade right in there and cook it just like that. It'll be awesome. And again, continue to baste like that. I'm telling you, this is going to be the best filet mignon you've ever had, hands down. Now, I like to kind of sear it on all sides, so I'll even do a little sear on the outside, just a tad. Because that's really where you get all that flavor from. Caramelizing, you know, the sugars and fats in the meat. Now, if you prefer your steak medium or medium well, God forbid you eat filet that way, you would just set your sous vide machine at a little bit higher temperature, that's all. But medium rare is the way to go, especially with filet mignon. It's going to be super, super tender. And that is all. So, what we're going to do now is put the meat on the rack. Let it sit for 5 minutes or so. What we don't want to do is slice it right away. When you slice meat right away, all the juice comes out. Basically, when you're cooking meat, the heat causes all the juices to go to the center of the steak or the meat. If you slice it, what happens is all of the juice comes out. So you let it rest a minute, all the juices disperse back through the protein. We do have one here that was cooked just prior to this going on. Let me move this stuff out of the way here. Now I'm just going to slice this into a few pieces and eat it just like this. Now you see how it's cooked even. I'm going to bring this closer to the camera actually, which will even be better. But you can see this is so perfect. Absolutely perfect. So, excuse me. Now look at that. See how perfectly that's cooked? Now lots of times when people are cooking filet mignon or any kind of steak, they have that tendency to char the outside too much. And you'll have that white ring around there, and then the inside's raw, which is not a good thing. This completely cooks it evenly from the outside to the inside, evenly like that. All right, now I'm gonna have the pleasure of taking a bite. Letting you guys know how it is at home. It's ridiculous. You really need to try this. Get a machine. Really good. It's a fail-safe way to cook most proteins, and you'll be so happy you did. Until next time, thank you.